Welcome to the Ashleigh Deane Show, a place for inspiration, insights, a little bit of non-biased news, and a whole lot of lighthearted fun. Hello, welcome to the Ashleigh Deane Show. I'm Ashleigh Deane. First, I would like to thank everyone for their support for my first episode, my shitty first draft, the texts, the calls, the kindness. Thank you for all of it. I woke up last Monday morning feeling very vulnerable. It reminded me of my first day of anchoring. I'm sure you can relate. Whenever we start something new, it's kind of scary. But sometimes, even when we don't feel ready or think things are not quite perfect, we just have to do it. Because honestly, if we wait until we are ready or think things are perfect, we'll never do it. So as always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for being here. My hope again is that this lighthearted episode can brighten your week and bring a smile to your face. I hope everyone had a fabulous Easter and Passover weekend. And now today, happy tax day. Also, many people today are returning to regular life after spring break vacations. And I know that feeling all too well. As a teacher, coming back from spring break was always difficult. I felt like it was like a tease of summer. To those of you that don't have spring break or summers off, please send me tips. I feel like I'm mentally preparing for a working summer. But I'm actually really enjoying this new life I've created for myself. It is busy and I feel like I can hardly relax, but everything I'm doing I genuinely love and I look forward to. I'm able to put my full heart into each new day. I feel happier and most importantly, more in charge of my future. So last week for my first episode, I couldn't come up with a random mash insight. It just wasn't flowing. So I allowed myself to skip it. This week, I had a thought while sitting in traffic that I want to share. I messaged tapbacks. I didn't know this is what they were called until a quick Google search. So they're basically the reactions or options you see when you press or hold down a text. You can select either a heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, the haha, double exclamation point, or a question mark. Sitting in traffic, it dawned on me, I probably use the heart and the haha the most, and sometimes the emphasis or exclamation point, which got me thinking about the thumbs up. I never use that one. Why like something when you can love it? And if you just like it, are you agreeing, or does it mean something else? Please let me know. Do you use the thumbs up? If you do, what do you mean by it? Are you agreeing with the text? Do you just like it and not love it? Are you passively rolling your eyes? So many questions from a simple reaction. This is why I avoid it. And this is what I call a random mash insight. So like I said last week, this podcast is a chance for you to get to know me, but I also want to get to know you. So let me know.
Infantry furiously trading machine gun fire.
Hi, you just got here and already you're playing Couch Commando?
Hey, in some parts of the universe, maybe not in contempo casual, but in some parts, it's considered cool to know what's going on in the world.
Okay, so this week, a lot of things have been happening in the world. I only want to share news in a non-biased way. I do not want to sway anyone politically to think or believe as I do. I just want to share the facts. And the facts this week, Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter. He first bought up enough shares to be the largest shareholder, was then invited to join the board of directors but declined. He then turned around and offered to buy Twitter outright. And written in his filing, along with his offer, he said, Twitter has extraordinary potential, and I will unlock it. I did some research, and I want to share what I found. I listened to the unedited conversation Elon Musk had with head of TED, Chris Anderson, recorded just a few days ago.
This is not a way to sort of make money. I think it's just that I think my strong intuitive sense is that having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important to the future of civilization.
But you've described yourself.
I don't care about the economics at all.
Okay, that's cool to hear. This is not about.
So keep in mind, Elon Musk is reportedly worth $300 billion and has offered to buy Twitter for $43 billion, which he says candidly he can spare. When asked if Elon is okay with anyone saying anything on Twitter as far as content moderation, he said he thinks Twitter should match the laws of the country. He also said,
and a good sign as to whether there's free speech is someone you don't like allowed to say something you don't like. And if that is the case, then we have free speech. And it's damn annoying when someone you don't like says something you don't like. That is a sign of a healthy, functioning, free speech situation.
Musk made the offer 1 week ago, and since then, Twitter's board of directors adopted a limited duration shareholder rights plan with the goal of making the proposed acquisition less appealing for Musk. This limited duration shareholders rights plan is also called a poison pill, which is named after the deadly pills used by spies to avoid interrogation if they were ever captured. So we will see what this week brings in the ongoing and ever-changing battle over Twitter. A funny side note about me sharing current events and news. When I started working in the news, I didn't watch or keep up with current events at all. Frankly, I didn't trust the news. When I was in college, I worked in the athletic department and specifically with the football team at USC. I knew a lot about what was going on as I was in the equipment department, coach's office, and involved with recruiting efforts on a daily basis. I remember going home one night and watching a news report of the daily happenings of USC football. I was shocked. There was no truth to the entire report. I thought to myself, so the news can just say whatever they want? From that point on, I was skeptical. And I also didn't want to watch the news. It just made me depressed. Okay, so why did I take a job in the news? It seems like a weird decision for me to make, seeing as I didn't trust the news and never watched. What was my plan? Long story short, I planned to gain experience on camera and move in a different direction from local news. Plans change, but that was my initial plan. Okay, back to the idea of needing to know more about the world and happenings if I was going to be working in news media. I searched and found sources I trusted and felt were independent in their reporting, so I could know what was going on in the world. However, I found I was still getting depressed by learning what was going on. Not only depressed, but fired up. I decided I had to figure out a way to stay up to date, but also stay upbeat. I could do some retail therapy, but that didn't have a lasting effect, just a temporary fix. I realized when I dug more into my faith, I could better handle the happenings in our crazy world. My faith gives me hope, and it gives me an eternal perspective. It doesn't take away the bad, it helps me realize there is so much more good out there than all the bad. And I truly want to share that good with you here, which is my intention in creating this podcast, to share with you hope and optimism in a sometimes confusing and chaotic world, in a truthful way. If I share news that you disagree with, please let me know. I try to go straight to the source, so if there's something more accurate than what I share, please let me know. I would be happy to correct a mistake. And speaking of mistakes, let me correct, add to a quote I shared last week by my dad. After my mom's miracle, he told us, life is fragile, which I shared. But he kindly reminded me that I failed to add the second part of the quote, which is, love is strong. Thank you, Dad, for the reminder. It is a beautiful sentiment, and even more beautiful with the part I forgot. Life is fragile, love is strong. About a year after my mom's miracle, I decided to seek out my own miracle. If you follow my blog, you've probably seen my 10-part series on recovering from artificial disc replacement surgery. If you haven't, let me catch you up real quick. About 7 years ago, I started having severe back pain. So much so that after months of physical therapy, numerous doctor visits, x-rays, MRIs, I was told emphatically that I needed surgery. I resisted and resisted, but finally resigned. A life without walking, sitting, or working was no life at all. So I had to take action to get myself back to normal. I had the surgery, and the next morning, I could walk, sit, and do normal things again. I cried tears of amazement and joy for several months after. And I thought I was healed, but things were not the same. I battled constant pain daily. I could walk, sit, and work again, but I was in so much pain. I could barely live my life without thinking about how much pain I was in. I had never experienced pain so relenting or all-consuming, and I was gradually losing hope in life. When I saw my mom's miracle, I started to believe that maybe I could have my own. So I searched, not really knowing what I was looking for. I found a group of doctors in Texas that perform artificial disc replacement surgeries. They're also pioneers in their field. They brought the procedure to the US from Europe. I was intrigued, so I sent my scans and paperwork to see if they could help. While waiting, Tiger Woods won the 2019 Masters, his first major win in 11 years. I thought it was a true win for humanity, seeing as Tiger had been through so much. Then I remembered hearing about a few, many, many more than me, back issues that he dealt with. I did a quick internet search and found his latest back surgery was performed by the same group that was currently evaluating my paperwork and scans in Texas. I was in pure shock. I felt like all my research was actually on the right track. And later that same week, I got a call that told me I was a candidate for the procedure. More tears and a small inkling of hope started peeping through. This was just 3 years ago, as the 2022 Masters wrapped up last weekend. What a reminder of how far I've come in 3 years. Last week, my parents catered an event for a family friend that I talked to and gave advice about his back pains that were caused by a car accident. He told my parents he will be having surgery from my same surgeon shortly. I was thrilled. I can't even explain how difficult it was living in chronic pain and how much my life was affected, no matter how positive I was. Even though I have a completely new mindset and outlook today that I'm grateful for, I was in the depths of despair and misery before my surgery. Like I said, it's hard to put into words, and even now I sound so gloomy. But today, I'm a totally different person than I was just 3 years ago. To anyone out there suffering in any way, don't give up. Be patient. Seek out a solution with faith, trusting that the best thing will happen for you in your future. My sweet friend Dawn, that I met in Africa through a World Playground adventure, shared this beautiful quote: "If it's meant to be, he will make a way. Just understand that it may not be today." And now, my very first sponsor. Ray Ray's has fine food that's right for you, and the event coordination to match. Ray Ray's Catering and Events is a family-owned business with tastes ranging from the refined Italian cuisine to the comforts of Southern charm. Combining their backgrounds, Ray Ray and Donna bring a taste that is perfect for everyone, and the atmosphere to match. Serving the Las Vegas Valley, you can check them out online at rayraysfinefood.com or contact them on Facebook. Plus, they're adorable, and they're my parents. So grateful for their support, love, and guidance, and that they gave me siblings. I am now honored to be joined by my brother, Mikey Telly. Let's see here. Okay, so I am honored to welcome in my brother, Mikey Taliaferri. Welcome, Mikey. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello,
For joining, for doing this. You are awesome. So this is a segment that I like to call the why. Why do you believe? Why do you do what you do? Just in general, it's kind of like a vague and broad question, but I like it that way. So why, Mikey? Why the things that you decide to do on a daily basis? What's your motivation?
It is a good question, and it is very vague, but I think it can be broken down into different categories. I mean, I would say my why for like 25 years of my life was just sports driven. Like winning sports, competing, trying to get awards, trying to get championships, scholarships, things like that. And then in the last few years of my life, my why turns into, with a sports mentality, but driven towards the family that I have, work related. And, but I think it all comes down to the same kind of thing, and I always kind of get driven by competition. I'm like a goal driven person, or like I always have to have something to look forward to and something I like to work towards. I was driven by two different things when I think about my time in high school. Football, I kind of knew a state championship was out of the picture because we weren't good. I kind of knew we weren't good. I mean, I had maybe the delusion of a teenager. We're gonna win, and then you play like one team, and you're like, it ain't gonna happen, you And so
reality, we'll say reality.
Right, and then my focus kind of became, well, I'm going to do the best I can to help this team win as many games as we can, try and make playoffs, and I want to win every game, but I also want to help myself try and get into college. I had this, I don't know, I've just always loved football as a kid. And Ashleigh, I don't know if your viewers know this, you went to USC and worked in the football office, and when I was in middle school, I went and hung out with you during spring break.
It was I was very excited to have you. That's when I learned what Red Robin was, because I saw a billboard and it said bottomless French fries, and I was like, oh, Mikey will love that. So yeah, it was exciting.
That's right.
It was fun.
So yeah,
Anyway.
But going to visit, when I went and visited you when you were in college, it was so cool to get a tour of USC and to learn about the history and everything. And then from then on, I was like, oh, I'm going to USC. It's just going to happen. And then by the time I was like a sophomore, junior in high school, I was like, I don't think it's going to happen. I was like, I'm good and I work hard, but I don't know. It's not that I gave up on the dreams, but I was just like, whatever. I just want to play college football. And
yeah, that was like your motivation. Yeah, I get it.
You
can't always like plan everything that's going to happen. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, and it's not that I'm not good at it. It just didn't work that way. So yeah, right. I get it. We all have a life plan we're going on.
Yeah, I think I always knew that I was going to play college football somewhere, because one time we were taking a road trip up to Utah, and we stopped in this small town, Cedar City, Utah. And yes. All I knew it as was the place to stop and get gas. And I remember walking into this gas station, and the gas station had the college in that town is Southern Utah University. And there was a jersey in the window, and I had this thought come over me, say, you're going to wear that jersey someday. So when I felt that, I always kind of knew I'm going to play college football somewhere. So that was like my drive in my early years.
Motivation. And go ahead.
And then when I was playing volleyball, my drive was, I knew that we had a good team, but and I was like, oh, we can actually win the state championship. And that was always my drive. I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win a state title. And you learn a lot about yourself and as a teammate and stuff. And so there were all these different motivating factors. For some reason, that it was so much more motivating to work hard in volleyball than it was in football. And maybe it was because of the state championship. It's like the scholarship. Oh, I can come across a scholarship anywhere, but it was like, this is our only chance that we can ever get as seniors to be state champions. And I also knew that this is my last time, because I'm 5'11", and I do not have the height of a volleyball player. And so I understood that. And there aren't a lot of football guys that play volleyball and vice versa, but
two very different sports, but you were excellent at both.
And I knew I wasn't going to go to college at all, but I still just really, really wanted to win a championship. For those of you wondering, we did not win the state championship. We actually lost the state championship. But
and I just want to note, Mike, like all of these, I guess, experiences that you've had and things through your life, you always want to win, and that translates in your life. That translates into your life because you are someone. It's not, maybe now you're not going for championships, but you want to win. You want to do the best that you can. Like, I know that about you. When you're at work, you want to be the best that you can be. When you're at home, you want to be the best husband, best father, right? Those things have translated. So your why has never changed. You always want to win, and you find an honest way to get there, which I really admire.
Yeah,
so.
and that's a good point. And also I've never been like I'm the person that wants to win, but I feel like when you hear that about people when it's not sports, like, I'm such a competitive person. To me, it always sounds like that they're just an a-hole. they're like, I'm just really competitive. No, you're just a jerk, and you're just like using like, I want to win, like, and so they'll do whatever.
To be a jerk.
Yeah,
I get
like
it. There's a fine line. There's a fine line. Yeah.
Right. Like, you're playing video games or board games or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm just really competitive. No, just chill. Like, sometimes you can be that competitive person, but you're right. It's always been about winning something. And that has been my drive. It's I served a mission for our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and throughout my mission there were times where I was trying to win, and I would do it myself. I would set goals myself, and it wasn't like I was taking away from the purpose of what I was trying to do as a missionary, but it was, I guess you can just call it goal setting. And you make the goal, and then when you reach the goal, it's like, I won. If the goal's small, that's fine, but reach the goal. But the rule is you have to go up. And if it's by one, that's fine. Because if before you were only, if you were making no dollars in a month, but the next month you made $1, I don't know what kind of job this is, but you are increasing and you're getting better, and that's the goal.
That's something to celebrate, and I think that's kind of also important when you celebrate the small things. That's something I say a lot. Celebrate those small wins, because if you don't have all those small wins, how are you going to have the big win? And it's a positive mindset. It's just, one foot in front of the other. Like you said, keep your feet on the ground, have your goals be realistic. And I think that shows in how you're living your life and what you're doing and the reasons behind it. Like, every day you're motivated, you have goals. I mean, every day is not perfect, right? We don't wake up every day super happy taking on the world. We have bad days, obviously, but you have a motivation behind you to be excellent, which is kind of what I'm getting from what you're saying. So I can see it in everything you do. I mean, definitely I see that in your coaching life. You've been able to coach high school aged boys in volleyball and football, and not only teaching them how to win, but kind of teaching them, long-term goals and how to apply those not only in the game, but in the game of life. That translates over. So I love that you kind of bring that up, and I appreciate your sharing. And
sports has been such a big part of my life that I just kind of keep a sports-driven mindset in my personal life. And now, I try to be, while I'm at work and my wife is home watching the baby, I try to be a good teammate, and because what I'm doing at work is like, I'm like a lineman, and what she's doing here is like the quarterback, and they're like two different positions, but they go together. And then when I come home, I try to be the best help to her as much as I can, and we work together, and it's just an all around team effort. And I guess Lucy's the football. I don't know.
She's the cutest football ever.
She is the cutest, but we don't kick her. We don't kick her.
You don't kick her. You don't throw her. You just protect her. Yeah.
We just hug and kiss her.
Oh, you guys are so cute. I think that's perfect. That's a great way to look at it also, because, as a team, you want to win, but you're also working together for that common goal. So I really thank you for bringing up that point. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to add, Mikey? What else you got?
I mean, I could talk your ear off. I mean, for hours.
We'll just have to have you back. That's all we'll have to do. You'll just be a regular.
There's a little teaser, yeah, because you brought up my coaching, and we can do another episode.
That's so true.
Some of the things I learned as a coach, which I mean, so many different angles. I learned how to be a parent of a kid, because being a coach is rough, and it's just like being a teacher, right? We get blamed for everything that goes wrong. So
I feel like that's the biggest lesson I ever learned in teaching. Is how to be a parent, and not even a parent, like a parent that takes ownership, and accountability. So it's all these lessons I didn't want to learn. But they're there. We got them. So
well,
Mikey,
maybe this will be a good teaser, and you'll just have to have me back.
Oh, for sure. Like, obviously. And thank you for being here. And I want to let you go so you can go get your soda. And because I know the importance of a soda, me, I love my Diet Coke. So
that's right.
Thank you for your time and for your words and your support, and love you. And thanks again for being here on the Ashleigh Deane Show. You'll be back.
Thanks. Yes, I will. Thanks, Ash.
Okay.
You're doing a great job. This is a great podcast. I hope everyone listens every week. You're the best. Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for listening to the Ashleigh Deane Show. After all, I'm still a teacher, just got myself a brand new classroom. We'll see you next week for another episode. Until then, make sure you subscribe, rate and review, and download the Ashleigh Deane Show. You can also go to ashleighdeane.com for the latest in fashion, food, and fitness.